Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Teach Me to Code screencast. This is Charles Max Wood. I'm going to go ahead and show off basically the rest of the cool parts of CoffeeScript. And then I'm going to get back to the delicious clone. I've had a few people ask me what's going on with that, and there were just some other things that I wanted to cover. So anyway, I went ahead and took care of that. So let's go ahead and jump in here. I'm going to show off some more of the CoffeeScript stuff that's available. One of the things that I think is really cool here is you can actually define classes. Now, if any of you have used the prototype model that they use in JavaScript, you know how hairy that gets. And then if you try doing inheritance, I still haven't quite wrapped my head around how to make that work in JavaScript. So anyway, you can do something like this. You can do class vehicle, and then what you can go ahead and do is you can set up a constructor, and let's say we have a name. We'll just do name. This is going to be very similar to the example that you can get on the CoffeeScript page. In fact, let me show you the CoffeeScript page really quickly. A lot of the examples that I've used in the screencasts kind of come from this page, and there are a few features that I haven't gone over that I'm not going to cover in this this video. So this is a really good place to get it. You can see that the link is right here, jashkennis.github.com/CoffeeScript. And anyway, I just wanted to put that out there so you can check it out. There are other things in here, you know, that can help you figure out some of the things that you can do with it, and there are installation guides and all kinds of stuff over here. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there so you could see it. A lot of good resources here. Anyway, so we'll come back to this. So what we've done here is we've created a constructor. If you remember, this is a function, so we just created a function that's the constructor. It has a name, and we'll get into what the @ symbol is here in a minute. But anyway, so then what we can do is we can say maybe move, and we'll say miles, and then we'll go ahead and just alert. In fact, what was it that we used to output the I think it was console.log last time that we used to output the values. But then what we can do is we can say at name drove miles and anyway, that should give us a pretty good start there. So then what we can do, and if you go ahead and build this, you can see that you have this vehicle, and it does the constructor here. Oh, I thought I messed something up here. So we build it again, and you can see that you now have the constructor. So you do a new vehicle, and it calls this and sets the name up, and pretty cool. So let's say we set something up to be VW bug, and anyway, we're going to use the same constructor, so I'm not going to worry about the constructor at all. But let's go ahead and give it a move, and you know what? We don't need to define miles because we're not going to take an argument here. So what we can do is we can say we can do something like I don't know, cruising, and then we can go ahead, and this is one thing that I think is really convenient, that it's just so hard to deal with in JavaScript, and I'll show you why in a minute. but we're going to call super, and we're going to say super, I don't know, 100 miles. So then if we go ahead and build this again, hit Command S instead of Command B, you can see here that it generates the vehicle, and then it generates the VW bug. So let's go ahead and get a little more. I forgot one thing here, and that's the extends vehicle. And what that does is sorry, old habit, Command S. Anyway, so you have VW bug, and now it inherits from vehicles. So now if we build this, you see it has all of this extra stuff going on that attaches to the object prototype and sets properties and does all the inheritance stuff for you. So pretty hairy here. But what we can do then is we can set something up. Let's do another one. Let's say class truck extends vehicle move. And we're going to go ahead and haul in on this one. And again, super, and we'll say that the truck goes 50. So you kind of get a feel for this, and then if you run it, obviously there's no output yet because we haven't called anything. So let's go ahead and say mater equals new truck mater. And for our VW bug, we'll call it Herbie. New VW bug Herbie. And you can see that that's just calling the constructors. So sorry, it's an old habit, and every time I change something in the file, I want to save it. So let's go ahead and build it, and you can see now that we have, this is pretty much what you'd expect. And then let's say mater.move and herbie.move. And then if we run it, you can see that mater drove 50 miles and Herbie drove 100 miles. And that's because when you get in here, it calls move for truck, and so it prints out Holland, and then it calls the super, and the super puts it out. So super convenient. And it's so much easier than doing some of the other crazy garbage that you usually wind up doing. So that's class, that's inheritance, and you get super with it. I mean, it's really awesome. Well, let's clear this up, and we will. In fact, I am going to save this. That's fine. We'll call it class example, and that way I'll have the code, because I'm just making this up on the fly. So I'll have the code that I can put up on the screencast. So we've got class example.coffee, and let's just create a new file and bring it over here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to show you some of the cool function stuff that you have. So let's say that you have, and this one is actually going to be, it's going to come right off of the right off of that CoffeeScript page that I showed you, but it's something that I think is really awesome and really powerful. Let me close this window here real quick. So we're going to do account equals customer cart. And you can see here that we have the function. This is defining a function, takes 2 arguments. Now the cool thing is let's say you want to bind to this. So normally you would do something like this dot customer. However, in CoffeeScript you get a more succinct notation where you just put the @ symbol in front of it, and that's the same thing actually that you saw in the previous example. If we hide this really quickly, in the previous example you can see there that it used the @name here in the constructor. And here, let me see if I can Oh, I don't have my highlighter turned on. I'll have to do that in afterward. But anyway, so you can see here that this constructor takes @name and it sets the instance variable. It just knows the instance variable. That's a Ruby term, and usually they're preceded with the @ sign. But you can see that here it's just setting it to this equals name, or this dot name. So it just sets it up for you. Let's see. We'll turn Omnidazzle on. Hopefully, yeah, that's not in the way. So. Anyway, so we'll come back in here, and so you can do something like customer equals customer, and cart equals cart, and then the other thing that you can do. So in fact, let's just go ahead and build this here real quick. Oh, I need to set. Here we go. CoffeeScript, so it knows what to build it with. So you can see here that it's setting customer to this dot customer, cart to this dot cart, and you know, in CoffeeScript fashion, it returns the last evaluated expression. So there's one other thing that's really convenient, and that is if you've ever dealt with binding specific functions to certain things, that's rather inconvenient. So for example, and this is a jQuery example, but let's say, and this is again right off of the website, but I want to explain what's going on here. So you have shopping cart dot bind. So I guess this isn't direct jQuery, because in jQuery you would do this. You would do click, and then it would take an event. So it has this, and I'm not sure what it's going to do here, but anyway, so then you can do event, and then you have it, I don't know, you have it do something, and I hit save again, of course. So then if we build this, then there's a compile error, mainly because I don't think it knows what customer and purchase are. So I'm making this up as I go, and I think this might actually be the problem. So we'll just take the example that they have. So you have bind, click, and I think that's a comma. So I think what we could do is we could actually say click event and then console.log I'm here. And then if we build it, then you can see, yeah, so it did all this setup right here. So anyway, let's say that you want to bind this function right here to this, which is account. What you do is you change your dash equals to an equals, or your dash greater than to an equals greater than. They call that the fat arrow. And what that does is it binds it to your account up here. So then what happens is then you can use at customer purchase at cart. And this is the example that they give on the site. And the reason that this is important is because it binds, if you do .click in jQuery, what happens is it will actually bind this function to the DOM element here. And what you want it to do is you want it to bind to account in this case. So what you wind up doing is you have this fat arrow, and right here. Oh, there we go. So this fat arrow binds this function to account instead of to this DOM element right here. So anyway, that's another thing that is extremely convenient, and I'm just going to save that as well. So then the last one of the other things, there are a few more things that I want to go over here, is that you can embed JavaScript in stuff. So let's say that you wanted to, I don't know, let's just put something in here. So let's say that you wanted to call, I don't know, let's just do this. So you want this to actually, you want to do it in regular JavaScript. So you can do this function alert hi, and it's the backtick. So then if you build it, no, I keep forgetting CoffeeScript. So then if you build it, then you have alert hi. And if you run it, then I don't know why that didn't work. Anyway, so that's a mystery. But anyway, you can see that it, if you build, so if you build it, it's just putting the string back. So it must be executing the JavaScript. That's interesting. Anyway, so that is embedded JavaScript. The next thing that I want to show off here is chained comparisons, and this is something that I thought was really cool. So I'm diabetic. It's not something that I'm particularly proud or ashamed of. It's just a fact of life. I have type 2 diabetes, and one of the measures that we have is the A1C. And my A1C last time I had it checked was 7.6. All right. Now, where they want your A1C is they want it between 7.0 and 5.0. So if you build that, then you can see here that it's just doing a quick little comparison. And if we run this, let's see, console.log healthy. If we run this, then you can see I'm not quite in the healthy range. Much better than I used to be, but anyway, so you know, you can chain them together like that. I think that came from Python. It's something that's really nice. And the final thing that I want to share here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go on to the next line, is instead of healthy, in fact, we'll just put it right here. Instead of just outputting healthy, you can put A1C within healthy range. And then you can do a string interpolation like this. And this is something that I'm used to from Ruby. So you have your hash or your number sign, and then curly braces inside of your string. It only works in double quotes, but then if you run it, A1C within healthy range, false. You can also evaluate, like this isn't an actual string. It's an evaluation. It's evaluating that to string. So you can actually put A1C in here and run it, and it puts out, you know, the number. Or if A1C were an actual string, then if you run it, it does the same thing. It just evaluates the string. So anyway, it takes this, it evaluates it to a string, and then it puts it out. And if you build it, you can see that it's just doing the normal, you know, plus concatenation that you're used to in JavaScript. So anyway, that's CoffeeScript. Just cool stuff, really cool stuff. So I'll go ahead and save this example as well. And you know, I should get this out today. And you know, I really hope that you're checking out CoffeeScript. There is one other thing that I really want to show off here. And that is, here, I'll bring this over here, and that is CoffeeScriptCookbook.com. This is actually something that's really new. It's something that was put together by my friend David Brady. It looks like there are a few other people who have contributed stuff. But anyway, just something to look into. They are looking for contributors. And one thing that David keeps pointing out, and it's something that I want to point out as well, is that he put together CoffeeScript Cookbook and then started learning CoffeeScript. So, and some of these recipes are his. So anyway, if you don't feel like you know CoffeeScript well enough to contribute a recipe, it doesn't matter. I mean, it can be something really dumb simple. Whatever it is, just put something together and find a way to contribute. And, you can check out the contributing section, and it talks about how to contribute it. It looks like this is all done in Jekyll and hosted on GitHub. So anyway, just something to be aware of. Anyway, I really want people to be contributing and finding ways of giving back, and this is a great way to do it. So anyway, that's it. That's CoffeeScript, the cool parts. If you want to hear more from Dave or myself, we're both panelists on the Ruby Rogues podcast, and you can get there by going to rubyrogues.com. And the site's in the works, but we just got added to iTunes, so you can go and subscribe, leave us a review. You can also find this set of screencasts in iTunes and leave a review for these screencasts as well. So, and I would really appreciate that, actually. So either way, if you want to leave a review for this one or for Ruby Rogues, that would be terrific. And that's all. Thanks. Do you want to learn Ruby on Rails? Then sign up for my 6-week course at teachmetocode.com/Rails course. Need expert help with your Ruby, Rails, or Sinatra application? Give me a call. My phone number is 801-367-6164, or you can email me, chuck@teachmetocode.com. Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!